Hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. If we haven't met, my name is Carrie Gilletto, and you are live with Carrie here at Whimsy Stamps YouTube channel. So for the month of February, I am focusing on masculine cards. So I often find myself low on cards for the fellas. So for the month of February, I'm going to be focusing on them. So for today, I chose some motorcycle sets that are great for the guys in your life if you have fellas that are interested in motorcycles. So let's go ahead and change our camera view and take a look at them. All right, so here are the ones I came up with, and I chose these colors because my sister's I guess you'd call him boyfriend. They've been together for a long, long time. He rides motorcycles, and I called my sister and I'm like, what color is Dave's motorcycle? So she sent me some pictures, and his is kind of a brownish copper, and I chose to put orange with it just to kind of tie in, but that's why I chose these colors. But of course, it would be fun to make these match the bicycle or the motorcycles of all different colors. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the different sets that I used. So Whimsy Stamps has two motorcycle sets that if you have someone in your you know place that likes motorcycles, I would recommend having both because they work together very nicely. And one of them is called Kickstart My Heart. That's this one. And then this one is called Bad to the Bone. So both of these are really nice to have. And I went ahead and paired them with the Comic Burst A2 die. I also used the grunge canvas background, which I loved this one to kind of get that masculine feel. And then I'm also using some paper that I did not realize has sold out. It was in Last Chance and it is now sold out. So you can't get this, but I'm going to go ahead and use one sheet of it today. But there are so many great paper pads, and I'm sure we could find another piece that would work for these as well. And I apologize, I do that. I did not realize that had sold out. So, okay. To begin, we're going to start with this one right here. Now, the motorcycle sets do not come with dies, matching dies, so I did have to fussy cut my pieces. So I don't mind fussy cutting. I find it relaxing. So I've gone ahead and stamped and colored a few images. I have these right here, and I also made one of the banners. And to finish up stamping our sentiment, I'm going to get a stamping platform. I'm using the Mini Misty. I'm just going to put this right in there, and I have the little curved saying that says happy birthday. And what's really fun about this set, let me grab it for you. Look how many sentiments fit in this fun banner. We've got lick your chops, ride the wind, race the rain, bad to the bone, chase the sunset, and happy birthday. So, regardless of the kind of card you'd like to send, there's just several that fit in this fun banner. So to stamp this banner, I'm going to get 3 different colors of ink. I'm just going to put it in there so it fits. And I want to stamp my sentiment so that it's ombre. So I'm going to start with some tiki torch or some yellow, and I'm going to add my ink just out here on the end of my stamp and go ahead and stamp that. And I'm having a little bit of trouble with this sticking down. I don't know why that's not sticking. There we go. Press that down a little harder. Okay, I've got a sticky mat in there, but it's not wanting to stick today. Now I'm going to come back with some Mandarin Spice, which is an orange, and I'm right in the center. I'm just going to add some ink because I want this to kind of look like the flame. I'm going to have to hold it down again. It is not going to stick. Okay. And the last one I'm going to add is Flame, and that's going to be my kind of reddish orange color. I'm going to put that right back at the back. So it's kind of a fun technique to add a little ombre, and now I'm just going to do it backwards to stamp those one more time. when you're doing this, it's kind of a good idea to let them kind of overlap. So that's why I go back a second time. So, you know, I'm not going to get it in the exact same place the second time, and it kind of lets those colors blend into one another. Do the yellow one more time. All right. So using those three colors, I have made myself an ombre happy birthday. Now I use this same technique to stamp my little fire border along this card. We're not going to be making this one together, but you can use that ombre stamping technique for several of the different pieces in these sets. That's kind of fun. When I do ombre stamping, I find it much better to use a stamping platform of some kind. I'm not good at eyeballing it and getting it in exactly the same spot again. So, okay, there we have our banner. All right, for this piece right here, I've cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I've cut this one down even further. And I'm going to go ahead and cut one more piece of some of the orange color here. Let me see. I should have measured that out. I forgot. But we want this one to have a nice orange outline. So I'm going to put that right in there and get that straight and cut myself an outline. I forgot about this piece. There we go. All right. So for this piece, I cut this down, and it is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. So 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And I went ahead and stamped my motorcycle and colored it. And I don't know if you know this, but Whimsy Stamps is now carrying its own masking paper. So I have gone ahead and stamped out this motorcycle on the masking paper and cut it out. And I'm just going to place this masking paper. So you know that several of the sets do come with the no fuss masking. But if it doesn't come with the no fuss masking, they do have masking paper that you can go ahead and cut it out. So that is what I have done for this motorcycle. There we go, get it right in place. So he's all covered up. And the next thing we're going to do is get our grunge canvas background. And I'm not even going to take it off of its paper. I'm going to put the paper onto the stamp instead of the other way around. So I am going to start with some Pebble ink. And I'm just going to add this light gray color onto my stamp. There we go. Now I'm going to take my paper and just lay it straight down on there. Now, especially where that motorcycle is, I want to really press to get that so that it goes in and around where I have that masking paper. But I'm also just going to rub all the way around. Hopefully getting a nice, good, solid impression. Now, if you do miss a spot, you can lay it back down. It's not like, I mean, we're making a grunge background, right? So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but hopefully we got nice, good coverage. So there we go. We did. Nice coverage. I didn't miss any spots. So I'm just going to quickly clean off my stamp here. And now, before I remove my mask, I want this paper to have a little bit of shadow around it. So I'm just going to take my ink blender here. Boy, I'm having trouble finding words today. Do you ever taste like that? It's like I'm looking at, I forget what it's called. My ink blender here, and I'm going to put a little bit of that Pebble ink, and I'm just going to do some shading around the edges. just with the same color I stamped in. Just adding a little bit of shading, and that just further kind of gives it that kind of grungy shop look, which is what I'm going for. So just all the way around. There we go. I really like what that adds. More up in there. So I'm leaving the center more white and just added that nice grungy shadow around the edges. All right, so now that I have that done, we're ready to remove the mask. And I like to save my masks and make them last as long as possible, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick this back on a piece of like the plastic that the stamp comes in. I just like to stick it right on there, and then the next time I use this set, I'll still have this. Eventually it'll stop working, but as long as it's still sticky, I like to save them. All right, so now that we have this part done, we're going to go ahead and glue these pieces together. And our first card is almost complete. All right, so like I said, I did go ahead and pre-stamp some of the images from the sets and colored them. Whoops, did I get that a little bit? All right. I love this black and white check paper. I am sorry that it is not available anymore. I thought it was perfect for these motorcycles. Here we go. All right, to finish this card off, I'm going to use the American Motors and this fun little flying wheel. So for my American Motors, I'm going to come back with my same blender that I used before and just add a little bit of gray around the edges of this piece. Again, leaving the middle white. And I made this a completely flat card so that it's just easy to mail. And for this one, I just kind of needed it to be a all-purpose card that could be used as a note card to send for any reason. It could be just anything, whatever you stamp on the inside as your message. But as far as from the outside, it's very much, you know, you can use this for just any purpose. So here's our two cards made with the grunge background and our motorcycle. I just love the way these turned out, and they are definitely masculine, so I love that. Okay, I'll set those aside, and the next one that we're going to make together is this fun shaker card. And this one I did make a happy birthday card, but again, so many sayings that you could put in there. And for the Made in USA, my sister's fella, his birthday, he was born in 1965, so that's why I stamped it established in 1965, and he was made in the USA. So I think this will make a great birthday card for him. And I'll show you how we did it. So I went ahead and die cut our comic burst frame, and I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided adhesive. If I can find the starting point, there it is. And I'm just going to go around the outer edge with this tape. Now you can probably see here on my original that I have yellow in the background, and some people stamp it twice or die cut it twice and then take the little yellow bits from the other piece and feed them in. But the way I like to do it is I have a circle punch, and I'm just going to cut out several circles. Whoops. If I can get them out of there. There they go. And now I'm going to add glue around each of the little comic bursts there. And I'm going to take a circle and place on top. And this is a very quick way to get those different colors. And if you wanted like rainbow colors underneath, you just punch your circles out of several different colors. And this is a much faster way to get different colors behind those little die cut images than, you know, die cutting them several times and feeding them back in. You can see here how quick that is. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these all down. That way, if my tape goes over the top, it will be better than the other way around. So. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this off because that is going to go over the top of that. And I will measure the size of this circle for you. I'm not sure. Whoops. Okay, so this circle is 5/8 in size. 5/8. All right, so now we're going to go back and finish adding our score tape. And this, we do want to make sure it's solid all the way around because we don't want our shaker bits falling out. Sure sticking my fingers to it. All right, and one more. So I have to tell you, I've had a crazy week. It's been all good, but it has just been non-stop. So I did feel a bit I don't know the right word for it. Unprepared, not really, because I've had these cards made and ready to go for quite a while. But I guess mentally unprepared. That's probably why I'm having trouble finding my words. I normally am a little more, I have some quiet time before I go live to where I kind of get my mindset in the right place. But today it was like run in the door, hit the go button, and here we go. So it's just been kind of wild around here. So I hope that you've enjoyed looking at some of the sets with a mind for the fellas. It has been really good for me. All right, I've gone ahead and cut a piece of acetate to the right size, and it's going to fit right on top there. All right, and I am going to add one more piece because I think in one corner I kind of didn't quite catch it. So don't want anything falling out, so we're gonna make sure that is secure. Okay. All right, that did it. All right, so now that I have my acetate secured on there, the next thing I'm going to do is use some of this double thick foam. And I believe this is called the world's best foam. And it is a fantastic product because it's double thick. So it is great for shaker cards. And we're just going to go ahead and feed that all the way around. Making sure that it meets up. So you'll have to tell me there in the chat, do you have any bikers in your family or in any of the folks that you would send cards to? It's one of those hobbies that if you're into it, you just love it. My sister actually got her license so that she could ride with Dave, and she bought herself a little moped, and she actually goes back and forth to work on a little moped. So I can get that in there. Good. Yeah, I had one little piece short. Okay, so there we go. Now, because this is double thick, sometimes you can have some sticky on the side. This doesn't seem to be sticky at all. That seems to be good. But one thing you can do if you have any stickiness, this is just a little, you use it with embossing powder. But you can just run that along, and it's nice because it doesn't get the powder all over your acetate. It lets you run it along the sticky but it doesn't make a mess inside. So I have gone ahead and got some sequin mix ready to put in here, and I just used several different sequins that I had and made myself a little mix. And then another thing you can do when making masculine cards, instead of having a white background, use craft card or brown, and that just adds to the masculinity of the card. So I've gone ahead and cut myself a card back out of brown. Go ahead and peel these off. Go. I love this double thick foam. And let's hope we can get that on there square. I think I did. All right. Go ahead and make sure that is nice and sealed. And there we go. Look at that. I like it. Now, it looks like I did get it just a little bit too far down. So one thing you can do is go ahead and trim that. If you get it off a little bit, which I do sometimes, that upside down business is a little tricky. But we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do it this direction. And we're going to add our motorcycle, our happy birthday. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp our saying in our, I guess, what is that, like a badge? I'm not sure, but let me grab the stamp set. There it is. So this set has the banner, and then this set is the one that's got the little badge, and we've got miles per hour, made in, B-Day, happy, live free. You've got all your numbers, you've got made in the USA, just a lot to put in there. So I think for this one, I'm going to put bike day and maybe live free. I don't need two cards for my brother-in-law, so I don't need to put the same date on this one. So let's see. Grab my Misty one more time. Put that in there. Put it in a little different spot. Maybe it'll be stickier. I tend to always put it right in the middle. So I'm going to stick with the made in the USA. I think that that works really well right in there. Yeah, there, good. It was stickier up there. I really enjoyed making these cards. It was just a little different. I do so much work with flowers and little critters. It was fun to kind of go for the masculine look. There we go. So tomorrow I actually fly to Indiana with my mother and my daughter to go to my niece's baby shower. So we're all very excited about that. Let's see. I think the Kickstart Your Heart is going to fit perfectly in there. So who knows? Maybe we could even turn it into a Valentine's Day card. Excuse my head if it's in the camera. There we go. Oh yeah, I like it. There's so many fun images in these stamp sets to just really decorate these up and give them a really fun masculine vibe. One of my favorite things in this stamp set was this checkerboard right here, and I used that on my little bonus card here across the bottom, and you can see up here I just stamped live free, live free, live free across the top, and added my motorcycle with the little skid marks. So lots of different options with these two sets and how you combine them. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add these pieces on, and our second card will be complete. When I placed him, I just put him right down here on the bottom corner. I'm going to put the banner on last because it's going to overlap my badge piece here. I stamped a happy birthday, so it's going to be happy birthday anyway, but not necessarily for my brother-in-law. So there we go. All right, there we have our fun shakers. Now for this one, I will have to trim that down, and I'll probably trim both sides so that when on the card, it'll give me a nice white outline around the brown, but that's okay. That's one way you can kind of fix if you get it offset a little bit. All right, there's those two. We have our little bonus card. And I don't know where I set the other ones, but our first card that we made with the fun grunge background, here they are. Got buried under my pieces. So there we go. We have a nice collection here of motorcycle cards all ready to go for some of the fellas in our lives. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera back. Oh, hi, Shauna. It's so good to see you. Thank you. Shauna, do you have anybody in your family that would go for motorcycle cards? And I know I made these masculine, but there's certainly some ladies out there that can ride a motorcycle. I don't mean to thank you for the hearts. These could probably, it might be fun to try to use some of these masculine sets and do them in a feminine way, because certainly we could color these up differently, and there are ladies that ride the motorcycles as well, but I'm specifically going for masculine. So, oh, you do? Well, Shauna, I highly recommend these two sets. They're really fun to play with, and they do make it easier to make some masculine cards. So, okay, I'm going to switch my camera back real quickly. Thank you, Iris. And let's see if I can find the button to get back. All right, there I am. Okay. Like I said, I'm a little discombobulated this morning, but thank you so much for hanging in here with me. And I hope you've enjoyed my take on these masculine motorcycle cards. And you can, if you're interested in any of those products, I do have affiliate links there listed below the video. So, all right, I hope you have a fabulous day. I look forward to making some really unique masculine cards for you next week. We're going to do a little bit of disco. So, let's see what kind of John Travolta types we have. So, all right, have a great week, and I'll see you next week, same time. Bye-bye.